Movies we watch, ghosts have exceptional powers. They can pass through walls, they can even fly also. But whenever I feel scared, I tightly lock the door, I cover my face with blanket and I feel protected. Suddenly the 200 rupees blanket which I purchased from D-Mart during a sale becomes a anti-ghost protection shield. So where is the ghost? Whether it is in the blanket or it is in my mind. I shouldn't share this secret with D-Mart promotions team. They may make the ad. Does your blanket as anti-ghost protection shield? It is a similar to famous version of does your toothpaste have the salt? So now I want to introduce you to some of the ghosts which you already met in your life before. Not in the graveyards, not in the midnight, but in the quiet moments of your life. The ghost of procrastination. He shows up in the Monday's morning, the alarm rings, you wake up, and he whispers, you need to sleep for 5 more minutes, you deserve rest. And somehow the 5 minutes will become 30 minutes, and your day start with guilt. The ghost of indulgence. At midnight, you are not even feeling hungry, but you open the fridge door slowly and silently the ghost whispers, just one more bite. Today was too stressful at office, so have one more bite. So, also the ghost of distraction. You open your mobile just to read one single message. Suddenly it will be 45 minutes later. The one reel become 20 reels. The another ghost, the most dangerous ghost is the ghost of mediocrity. He doesn't scares you, he comforts you. You are already doing well, no need to upgrade anything, just relax. And even without realizing, your growth stops. These ghosts do not stay in dark forest or old buildings. They live right here in the mind. In movies, the ghost disappear when the light comes on, but in our life, this ghost will go when we decided to fight back. Now think about this. Have you ever read a news headline saying person killed by ghost? No. But we always read like people dying due to not wearing helmet, people regretting their choices. So here is the another question I want to ask. Where is the ghost? Whether it is in the blanket that believes, whether it is in my mind or it is in the blanket, thin sheet of blanket that protects me. Now I want to ask the real question. It is not about existence of ghost. The question is which ghosts are running in your life. If that is a ghost of procrastination, your dreams will always remain uncompleted. If that is the ghost of distraction, your time will quietly stolen. If that is a ghost of mediocrity, your growth will always stop. The ghosts in movies and stories disappear when someone brave enough to fight back. But the ghosts in our real life, they will disappear when you use the blanket which really works. Not the 200 rupees one from blanket, D-Mart. The blanket of discipline. So tonight, use the blanket, instead of using blanket to cover your fears, use the blanket of discipline to overcome this ghost and fight the ghost within you and take back the life which they are holding back from you. Thank you, Ghost Master of the day. Ghost Master.
I'm a person who doesn't believe in ghosts, but you made me ghost. Thank you so much for a speech, Toastmaster. The next speaker is Toastmaster Sri Annapuni. To introduce, I would like to welcome the evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Thomas Abraham, to introduce the objectives.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good afternoon. The last of the speeches today is going to be drawn from the same project that the previous two speakers have used, except that she's gone on forward, she's doing the part 2 of that same. Therefore, the objectives are different. One, it is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator. Speech evaluator will come later. Second objective is to demonstrate the ability to deliver an effective, respectful speech. I want to understand what this means. After listening to you, I will know what is meant in the pathways called respectful speech. Looking forward. Over to you.
Toastmaster Sri Annapuni is a HR recruiter and a mother for 2 kids and a resident in Besanagar. So her
2 years.
Oh, 2 years. Her favorite key code is big journey, begin in small steps, which perfectly aligns with today's theme. Let's welcome Toastmasters here. Toastmaster Sri Annapuni, title Saying Yes, Toastmaster Sri Annapuni.
Have you ever said yes without really knowing what it means? Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good afternoon.
One fine morning, Toastmaster Jayashree called me and asked, Purni, are you participating in the ISC? No, Jayashree. As you know, I haven't completed my level 2 yet. Oh, okay. Would you like to take up the role of contest chair? Honestly, I didn't know what the role meant. Since I had been part of the hospitality team earlier, I assumed it would be of something similar, probably a bit more of contribution here and there. With that, I replied, okay Jayashree, we'll do it. And then I opened the contest rule book. This was like saying yes to the TMOD role when you thought you were just invited as a guest. Then came the next challenge. When and how to conduct a contest. This was my first time even witnessing a contest, let alone chairing one. Since many of them sounded enthusiastic about the contest, I thought nominations would be pouring in. We decided to try something new, a 2-day contest marathon. 1 day semi-finals, next day finals. I circulated the plan and everything seemed perfect. For the first few days, people were asking many doubts and I was sure nominations would be flowing in my mailbox. I even cleared the mail storage space. Next few days, my inbox looked like a desert. Not even a single nomination. I kept refreshing my mailbox as if the contestants would magically appear. Then I started sending reminders. Every day there was a message from me. Different design, different wording, all powered by different AI tools. Finally, after almost 20 reminders, I think people started to send nominations just to stop my reminders. Then came the next part, role players. Even in our club, I knew only few people. And here I am trying to organize a 2-day contest. So I started reaching out to people from other clubs. One person asked, okay, but what does the contest master actually do? In my mind was, good question, even I would like to know. I confidently replied, sure, let me check and get back. Meanwhile, share your interest and availability. Meanwhile, I was thinking, let me quickly run and check. What does the contest master actually do? Somehow, role players fixed, nominations closed. The last week was the most hectic part. Full-time job, contest planning, and a 2-year-old son at home. Seriously, at one point, I asked myself, இதெல்லாம் நமக்கு தேவையா கோபி? seem perfect, you have to take a complete U-turn. One by one, contestants started calling and saying they couldn't participate. From 18 nominations went down to 16, 15, 13, finally 11. The contestants reduced so much that I had to convert the 2-day contest into a single-day event. I started calling all the role players and informing them. Had to reorganize everything again. But I must say, everyone was supportive. Without them, all these last-minute changes would have been impossible. But throughout these chaotic moments, my husband, he has been sending me chat gifs and emojis. Because I was the contest chat. That is his unique way of motivating me. On the day of the contest, everything started smoothly. Some role players might have received certificates saying semi-finals 1 and 2. Because I had written them earlier, I didn't want to waste it. Treasurer, note it down. I've saved money. Then I reached out to another role player for help in writing certificates. That person went an extra mile in helping by signing the certificates on my behalf. Second half of the contest, I was more nervous than the contestants awaiting their results. During the felicitation of Chief Judge, it looked less like a contest and more like an annual stage rehearsal. Overall, it was a fun learning experience. But I made sure that I didn't attend the next 2 meetings for the people to take time to forget my face. Last week, Toastmaster Naren called me and asked, Purni, will you take up the role of MC for this milestone meeting? In my mind, have I done it before? No. Did I say yes?
Yes.
Yes. Because in Toastmasters, every year brings new opportunities, countless lessons, and unexpected growth. And of course, plenty of material for my next speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Annapurni, for your wonderful speech. Timer, could you please?
All the speakers are
Wonderful. With that, we have completed our prepared speech session. So every speaker here today has to take a small step forward. Now let's see the big impact to the evaluation, and I now hand over the stage back to General.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Hi everyone. I request everyone to please vote for the best prepared speaker. I think it is shared in the WhatsApp right now, and the guests are given chits, I believe. Now we will be moving on to the evaluation session of today's session. And first, I would like to call upon our senior Toastmaster, Venkatesan. He is a domain expert in a senior PR firm. For him, small steps is very manageable, and also there are less chances of getting distracted, and the results are very conducive. Over to you, sir. He will be evaluating Toastmaster Ranjit's speech.
Thank you. Just now I made a good afternoon Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Just now I made a Google search and I found that in the Toastmaster fraternity all over the world, the icebreaker in pathway is completed 1,70,000 plus one Toastmaster Ranjit. I would request all the audience to give a big round of applause. Yes, life does not have any meaning. It is subjective. Universal meaning depends upon the individual to their passions. In your speech, your icebreaker was heartfelt and engaging. I especially liked how you shared your personal journey. It made you relatable and authentic. Your voice was clear and your confidence showed throughout. I would give only one suggestion, would be to slow down slightly
to let key movements land more effectively. Like you met so many kids in the cancer hospital in Adayar. There should be pause also. Pace is very slow. Overall, this was a wonderful speech. Good connectivity is there. I would give the commendations on like natural story, personal story, and personal experience also, like professional experience, and how you met in the meeting, how you went down. All those things are proper. But I will give you the slow down, like pace between each story. I mean, each content. Like first profession, hospital, your father had a cancer and you went to the other cancer institute and you met some kids. Probably you should explain a little bit about the kids and other parents, their life story. Then it is more authenticity will be there. I am looking forward for your future speeches. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Our evaluation certainly motivated the icebreakers and the future icebreakers also. Thank you very much, sir. And to evaluate our second prepared speaker, I call upon Toastmaster Rohit. He is an IT professional and he toggles frequency between Chennai and Gurgaon. He will be evaluating Toastmaster Karanjit's speech.
Thank you, Jay. Toastmaster Karanjit. Thank you for letting us going through bringing back old memories of watching cartoons. So I still go through and reliving whatever you just mentioned in your speech about watching memories as a kid. I'm watching cartoons as a kid and now sitting with your nephews and watching a cartoon. What I'm going through, I'm going through currently. I'm forcibly made to watch cartoons with my nephews, and though I'm not too fond of cartoons now. But I've grown through ages. So, what I have to tell you, Karanjit, there are a few things I need to highlight. That is your spoken language. You have a very good command over language and your accent. You have nice accent, and it was very clear. Next is the tone and speed needs to be worked upon because that is one of your objectives, where you have to work on your tone and speech and the usage of moderate your speech. So that needs to be worked on. Eye contact. Eye contact is very important when you connect with people who are not only in front but on either side of the stage. So there are people sitting right, left. You may not be able to connect with everybody individually, but still you can glance through the room. The next is you look very comfortable and assured on the stage. So you look perplexed, but you were very comfortable, as if you have been giving your 100th speech. So next is you started with you started with engaging the audience about if everybody watch cartoons as kids. So you started with engaging the audience. Hats off to you. And usage of hands gestures, that was absent in your speech. That's also one of your objectives. So you need to make use of hand gestures and body movements, and then even make use of the stage. You were just going 2 steps backward, 2 steps forward. Of course, there was minimal movement, but there's a stage is quite huge. You could have made use of it. And then eye contact, instead of watching, you could avoid watching, staring the wall in front and on the floor. Instead, consistently try and make use of make a consistent effort to make eye contact with the people on either side. So overall, I think it's a good speech. You'll have a lot more projects coming up. So you apply whatever feedback given here in your upcoming speeches. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rohit, for the evaluation and showing us particularly how to make the speech much better. Thank you. to evaluate our third speaker, Toastmaster Anish Verma, I call upon Toastmaster Alagiri, who is a fitness enthusiast. He has, for him, small steps has a very big impact. Particularly during his childhood, he started yoga as a very small thing. But today he has 3 international certificates, 50 national certificates, and over 100 state certificates in yoga itself. Over to you, Toastmaster Alagiri.
Good evening again to everyone. My target speaker, Toastmaster Anish Verma. Bob, you gave an amazing speech. You took all of us on a hyper journey with your fast storytelling. The tire puncture part was very excellent. The sound you made, tadak, tadak, that felt very real and made the story lively. You acted nicely, especially when you showed how you carried the spare wheel to the puncture shop. You also included many characters like your aunt, father, mother, which made the speech more interesting. You used the stage very well and your hand gestures were very good. I am sure your distinguished father missed your speech, but thank God we all didn't miss your speech. What could be improved is one, your voice was little low for the people who are sitting at the back end. They may not have clearly. Also, your eye contact was mostly with the front and middle audience. Try to look at the back audience as well. Other than this, your script and delivery were excellent. It was very good. To summarize, your driving may have irritated your father and your mother, but your speech really entertained all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alagiri, for evaluation, particularly adding the humor into your speech. Now, to evaluate our fourth speaker, Toastmaster Balaji, I call upon Toastmaster Bharat, who is our immediate past president. He is also working as a software architect in IT company, and soon I think he'll be leaving to Abu Dhabi if the war ends. as long as the war is there, he'll be here. Over to you, Toastmaster Bharat.
Thank you, General Toastmaster Dinesh. Greetings once again, dear Toastmasters and friends. Today, our dear speaker, Toastmaster Balaji, in 5 to 7 minute speech, he took us on a very long journey of 5,600 kilometers, covering the entire India from south to east. And in this journey, he took us on a very long journey where he vividly described the various places with various experiences shared along with his friends. There are 3 aspects in his speech which I like the most. To start off with, the number 1, the opening. The way he asked the audience, how many of you enjoy a road travel? And then he followed it with a short trip to Tirupati with a 300 rupees trip, where he set the context for what's coming around after the 5,600 kilometers journey. The second thing which I like in his speech is his storytelling style with the few characteristics. The way he narrated the story and the way he described the various locations, starting from the spicy food he ate and the various places in Odisha, the Konark temple, and the architecture he saw, the paintings he saw, which brought these things in front of us clearly and vividly description. And the characters which he used, I must appreciate the very few characters is what makes the story powerful. And also there are bits and pieces of stories, be it the police story, the police negotiation, all these added the needed spiciness to this story. And the number 3 is conclusion. He concluded it with a message saying that travel, you all enjoy travel and we all must travel. This way, he looked back to his opening statement, you enjoy travel, and he concluded it that we all must travel, and his narrative made us all to feel that we all should travel. So that is how he powerfully delivered his speech with a powerful message and convincing all of us to take on travel more. However, in this consistent travel of his 5,600 kilometers, there were 2 areas which I felt had some small jerks which he could have improved better. So the number 1, In the story of journey of 5,600, there were ample scope of using the stage. So, but he was staying in one place. So I hope like you have used a stage a little more when he was moving from Tirupati story to this Kolkata or the another story. Little more of a stage usage is one area which you could have done better. The number two, the conclusion was a powerful conclusion, but then going on to the flow of a conclusion, that was a bit abrupt, which I felt, which is all one thing which I could have been a little more improved. In overall, you had a good opening, a good storytelling, and a good conclusion. It's a little more opening on the smoothness and the more stage usage to make this journey 5,600 more perfectful. Dear Toastmaster Balaji, you have travelled 5,600 kilometers on a horizontal terrain, but your speech here made me feel you have travelled 5,600 kilometers and an elevated of your Toastmasters journey, and I wish you many more successful speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bharat, for the well-rounded evaluation. And to evaluate our fifth speaker, Toastmaster Uma Maheshwar Rao, I call upon our Vice President Education, Toastmaster Narendra. He is working as a software architect at a leading MNC company, and also for him, consistent action taken every day will lead to our goal over a period of time. Over to you, Toastmaster Narendra.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening, everyone. So, where is the ghost? The ghost was definitely not on the stage today. But thank you so much, Toastmaster Uma, for that wonderful speech. The ghosts live in our mind, and whether we let it feed off our imagination or not is up to us. That was a very good message delivered today by Toastmaster Uma Maheshwar Rao. Now, I would like to explain what I liked about his speech and a few areas of improvement that could benefit Toastmaster Uma Maheshwar Rao. So first, coming to the part or the parts that I liked about his speech is Toastmaster Uma Maheshwar Rao has become synonymous with humor. And what I like about his humor is that it's more of substance over style. The wordplay that he uses, the way he sets up a point and then he punches it, these are the elements of a good humorous speaker. And Toastmaster Uma Maheshwar Rao has it in spades in his speech. The next thing that I liked about it was that he established a very relatable analogy, ghosts in movies, and then equated that to the ghosts that kill our productivity in life. And he showed how the ghosts in movies are just a figment of our imagination. In the same way, our mindset determines whether our productivity is killed by the various ghosts that you mentioned, the ghost of procrastination and so on. Now coming to a few humble suggestions from my side. While the analogy served as a good setup to what Toastmaster Uma Maheshwar Rao wanted to say today, switching the context between that analogy of the ghosts in movies to the ghosts that kill our productivity, there was a little too much of a switch. Maybe that could be reduced. You could just set up the analogy first and then move on to the ghosts that kill our productivity. Of course, drawing parallels between the two is fine, but constant context switching may sometimes make it difficult for the listeners to follow along as to what you're saying in that moment. The next thing that I noticed was the pauses in between. So that could be reduced. Maybe a little more practice would be very helpful. Thank you. I hope I won't bore you much more time. The next thing that I mentioned was, I said that Toastmaster Uma has more substance over style. But style can also contribute to your humor. And that can be brought in with more vocal variety and body language. You use pauses today, but you have to make sure that these pauses are intentional, which can also contribute to your humor. And also, the standard feedback that most of the evaluators give, using your vocal variety to make a humor resonate a little more, and then using your body language to ensure that your point comes across a little more. So these are the standard things that I have, but I think the vocal variety and body language could elevate your humor even a little more. So to summarize, great sense of humor, a good analogy, and areas of suggestions, little less of context switching, and using more vocal variety and body language would be more helpful. Over to you.
A lively, humorous speech. Now to evaluate our final speaker, Toastmaster Annapurne, I call upon our senior Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster the distinguished Toastmaster Thomas needs no introduction as well, because he's a public speaker over such a long period of time. And also, to reduce his weight, he has bought a weight machine. Every day before and after sleep, he goes and sees the weight machine, and he has reduced, I think, nearly 6 kgs. 5.5 kgs he has reduced. So it's a very good way to be consistent.
Good afternoon. Will you say yes? It depends who asks, right? But I must say this to you, with your permission, I want to confer 2 epithets on the last speaker and appreciate 3 aspects about her speech and give her 2.5 suggestions. That's something. The epithets are, tell me, how many times did we all laugh? Roughly about 60 sentences in 7 minutes. How many times did we laugh? Chuckle. I counted quite a lot. Embarrassingly large compared to what I do. I didn't want to reveal, but that was one. So to you, I now confer the Princess of Queen, Humor Queen, to start with on you. Seriously. Second, I noticed, you know how many times she failed to give a pause in a sentence? Hardly any. Every sentence had a pause. And the thing about 4 designs I made in 4 different styles, that had 3 pauses in between the 4 words. I'm not joking, I'm saying to you, I don't know how you picked it up so early. You're only level 2? Level 1. I resign. Seriously, that is very well done. Because this happens, no, I don't have to flatter you. This happens because you speak from the heart. You strain every sinew to get across what's in your head. That's when this happens. This happens, I'm very glad you did that. So these are the 2. And the 3 things I really liked. 1, what flexible tone of voice. The emotions you brought up, they were not pleasant. You brought irony, mockery, discomfort, misery. That is humor. All that was, it was a litany of these. You did that well. Secondly, the body. When I say the body language, 1, you have a supple body. You have a flexible body. You almost arched it. Then your hand went into action. Every bit so apt. When I do it, it will become mockery. You did it so well. Eyes, we forget eyes. We use our hands and all that. Her eyes, she cringed her eyes. She narrowed it to bring out the misery. I thought it was remarkable. And you didn't enact it. I think it's natural for you. Good for you. So body and the yes, semi-finals. You brought in some banner. Then you had refresh. You know, everything was so very apt and so very well synchronized. And start till end was about, will you say yes? So that you close the circle. 3 quick suggestions with yellow threatening me. 1, you asked a question. Don't leave it as rhetorical. Let people answer. Give them 5 seconds. Then they will get internalized than intellectually connected with you. Second, you don't need to have a dialogue with entire enacting initially, that small little episode. And third one, use this. Only recommendation you forgot, do it next time. Very well.
Thank you very much for a detailed evaluation of Toastmaster Annapurni's speech. Now we have come to the, we have closed the evaluation session of today's meeting. I call upon the timer to read out the name of the qualified evaluators, please. Are all the evaluators qualified?
No.
You can just read out the name of qualified evaluators.
Okay. Toastmaster Venkatesan C, Toastmaster Rohitan, and Toastmaster Bharatki, Toastmaster Nadarihan, and Distinguished Toastmaster Thomas Abraham Pai.
Okay. I request everyone to vote for the best evaluator, please. I think the link is shared in WhatsApp. The guest can use the chat. Can you share it? Okay. We will share it. Okay. I call upon the timer to read the detailed timer report, please.
Good evening. It's a time for timer report. For prepared speech, Toastmaster Ranjit R took 6 minutes 1 second. Toastmaster Karanjit B took 6 minutes 30 seconds. Toastmaster Anis Verma took 5 minutes 51 seconds. Toastmaster Balaji N took 7 minutes 5 seconds. Toastmaster Uma Maheshwar Rao took 6 minutes 17 seconds. Toastmaster Sri Annapurni took 6 minutes 10 seconds. Now it's a time for evolution. Toastmaster Venkatesan C took 2 minutes 3 seconds. Toastmaster Rohit M took 3 minutes 13 seconds. Toastmaster Alagiri R took 1 minute 41 seconds. Toastmaster Bharat K took 3 minutes 7 seconds. Toastmaster Narendra M took 3 minutes 16 seconds. And distinguished Toastmaster Thomas Abraham took 3 minutes 11 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Rati Gupta. I next call upon our counter, Toastmaster Purna Chandran, to read out the detailed counter report.
Good afternoon, everybody. The most popular filler of the day was I did notice that when we expect a reaction from the audience, we tend to use as a crutch to get back on track. It is the most, I just used again, I'm so sorry. But we tend to use to get back on track. And it's the most easiest filler to fix or rather eliminate from your speech. All you have to do is just close your mouth. That was our most popular filler. A close second was So. And So's favorite speaker was the Toastmaster of the day. Apart from that, there were occasional stumbles in speech, just general stumbles, trying to repeat just the last word that you said. That was one thing that I think is very acceptable in speech, because there are occasional disturbances and distractions, especially when it comes to flashing the card. That really set T.M. Purni off just in one place. Apart from that, the title of her being the Queen of Humor, I would also confer the title of having the most skill in pausing. So that was really very, very surprising, very refreshing to see, because Toastmaster T.M. Thomas asked us how many times you had failed to use pauses, and that was 0. So congratulations to you. Now I'll get into the number for each speaker. Toastmaster Nitin used a singular. So please keep in mind to close your mouth when thinking. And Toastmaster Jayashree used a like. Like is something I really dislike because we've lost the meaning of the word completely because of how many times it's been repeated in daily speech. So up next is guest Abhinaya. She didn't really say much, so I couldn't really pick any out. Next is TMOD Krishnapriya. 6 us and 11 souls. Next is GE Dinesh. 5 us. The rest was fairly alright. The timer Raki used 8 us. I'm yet to hear grammarian TM Shanmugave, so hopefully I'll give you his count after he finishes. And Toastmaster Venkatesan had 3 stumbles, fairly acceptable, as I said. Toastmaster Ranjit, a great icebreaker. There were 5 hours. I think when you were trying to improv what you were saying, the hours tend to surface every now and then. And 1 stump. Toastmaster Rohit had, so he had 10 hours and one additional repeat use of so. and I count so not just using the word as it in itself, but using it as a filler without trying to mean what so means. So that's why I've counted that single so.